Before anything else, let me just say that if you plan on going to see Hacksaw Ridge, make sure that you can handle way more than just a little bit of gore. Hacksaw Ridge is a movie based on the true story of World War II Army medic Desmond Doss. It is directed by Mel Gibson in what is a long-awaited return to directing for him. If you've seen the full trailers for Hacksaw Ridge, then you already have a pretty good idea of how the actual plot does play out. We have a soldier who has a moral dilemma and refuses to touch a gun based on his religious belief of thou shalt not kill, even with that belief spilling over into war. And the first half or so of the movie deals with this soldier's life leading up to and enlisting in the army and going through basic training while refusing to touch a gun, and the ensuing fallout that comes from disobeying orders from commanding officers and how exactly that's going to play out within the military courts and whether or not he's actually allowed to do that. And going back to the trailers for this movie, I feel like a lot of the big moments that do advance the plot you kind of already know are coming. But I was still completely captivated by this movie. From the very beginning, it totally pulled me in, and it had me the whole time. Whether it was showing this soldier fighting with his little brother as a kid, or the eventual love story that was involved, to everything throughout basic training, every bit of it had me. Maybe not necessarily on the edge of my seat, but I was involved, I was engaged, and I cared, and it was really, really well done in that respect. And every other respect, really. I'll come right out and say it. This movie is freaking fantastic. Eventually we get to the actual war aspect of this movie, and holy cow do we get to the war aspect of this movie. I cannot think of a single other movie that goes nearly this graphic with its depictions of basically the horrors of war. Granted, I will openly admit that I don't generally do well seeing a lot of gore. I can handle it, I just don't particularly enjoy it, and this all was very, very shocking. The movie literally goes from an inspiring feel-good story about somebody standing up for what they believe in and overcoming a mountain's worth of odds to maybe the most R-rated movie I've ever seen, but also an inspiring story about somebody standing up for what they believe in and overcoming a mountain of odds stacked against them. Really, I don't know much of what else I can say about this movie without spoiling it much more. It is just an all-around fantastically directed, fantastically acted, really captivating, but also very disturbing in a lot of ways, kind of movie. And as weird as it sounds with me having absolutely loved the movie and being glad that I watched it, I honestly don't know if I could watch it again. But honestly, I think part of that point goes to show just how well this was done and just how far they went to show just how freaking nuts war can be. For people that like seeing that stuff, you are gonna be all aboard this train and probably absolutely love this movie. If it's a little bit more difficult to see for you, you're probably still gonna really like this movie. There's just gonna be some parts that are gonna be very difficult to watch. So that's my thoughts on Hacksaw Ridge. As always, if you have your own, feel free to share them in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please hit it with the thumbs up button below. And if you want more movie reviews or all kinds of other things I do here, please click that subscribe button. But above all else, everybody, thank you so much for watching.